effective nutrients into the scalp, as far as like conditioning the scalp, hydrating the scalp, and providing the amino acids and the plant nutrients that it needs to thrive. So it really streamlines this process. So I'm not sure if everyone knows, DHT is a byproduct of testosterone, which really undermines the absorption of most nutrients. So what the anti-hair loss shampoo and the conditioner does is it really helps stop those, help stop that DHT hormone from affecting the scalp. So this shampoo comes in and it cleans the scalp. It cleans the scalp, it hydrates it, gets rid of any like the gunk, sebum, and dirt and grime that's in there. And then what the conditioner does, it helps hydrate the scalp, and it gives everything that the scalp needs to actually thrive. So the Natulique anti-hair loss system is a two-part system. So the shampoo and the conditioner are one part, and then the serum comes in. So the shampoo and the conditioner really work together to create that beautiful foundation for the serum to work really well. And then when the serum comes in, it kind of lays down for that foundation to where you can actually help grow brand new hair follicles. So when we talk about brand new hair follicles, it's more of like, what phase is your hair going to be in? Is it in the growing phase? Is it in that healthy phase, or is that dormant phase where the hair kind of falls off? So what happens is when you lose hair, you lose actually the blood flow to that hair follicle, and over time, different elements can do that, medications, environmental factors. There's a lot of things that can go wrong with hair follicles health in general. So we're going to talk a little bit towards the end of like what 5 tips you can actually bring to your guests at the end to give them nice, beautiful tips at home to go inside with the Natulique system. So our main active ingredients, let's see if we're on topic here. So the advanced Scandinavian bioscience basically means that it's an advanced scientific form that actually utilizes and finds all these wonderful ingredients that actually work together for the scalp health. So those are apigenin. Let me make sure I'm saying these correctly. So apigenin, oleonic acid, we have a little bit of castor oil, we have certified bitter orange oil, and certified rosemary oil. The apigenin is a bioflavonoid found in many fruits and vegetables, and like parsley, onions, oranges, a lot of those beautiful green vegetables that we really need. This flavonoid acts as an antioxidant for the hair, and the research has shown that apigenin actually stimulates hair growth. So it's a great thing to actually have in the hair. So then at the same time, we have our biotinol peptide 1. This is a great ingredient that's going to act as a really good food source, and it boosts new hair growth more than 100%. And it actually helps along to reduce hair loss by 50%. So with that being said, we have great key essential ingredients. These are all the main active ingredients. There's a bunch of other ones. We have rose extract, we have rosemary, obviously rosemary oil we're going to get into in a second. We have castor oil, we have almond oil in our conditioner, which is a great carrier for all of these ingredients. Our last but not least ingredient is our oleonic acid. It's a natural component of many plants, such as olive trees, and it has antioxidant and antimicrobial effects, which is really good for killing any kind of bacteria on the scalp. And usually a lot of the time when people have any scalp or flake issues, they always think that it's like a bacteria or a fungus or anything of some sort. This really will help neutralize everything and kill any microbes that are on the scalp. So let me see it, and it works really well together with biotinol, tripeptide 1, and apigenin. So it works. It's a beautiful group of it's a beautiful group of ingredients that will coincide together that creates this great environment for hair to grow. So let's see here. And this patented formula, it activates genes responsible for tissue repair. So your scalp is a whole, it's like its own different organ. It works really, really well, and you have to maintain all of these factors for hair to grow. There's a lot of things that environmental factors can do, medication, hormones. So the anti-hair loss system really works well together to help even out a lot of those strains that we're fighting. So let's go down to the nitty gritty for our, now that we know a little bit about the line, let's go into a little bit more about the shampoo, the conditioner, and the serum that gets everything started. So as I said before previously, the anti-hair loss shampoo and conditioner acts as two parts of the system. So shampoo and conditioner are one part, and then the serum is a separate part. So as we see here, we have part 1 and part 2. We have part 1 and part 2 that work really, really well together. You can't use one without the other. They are both designed to work together as a team. These are sisters, twins. You don't want to keep them, you don't want to separate them. So, and then part 2 is our anti-hair loss serum. It's amazing because it's more water soluble. It's not going to be very thick whenever you go to dispense it on your hands or into your hair. So the best thing about the shampoo and the conditioner, it helps penetrate, the shampoo and the conditioner helps penetrate deep into the scalp with the nutrients, keeps the scalp clean, and helps the follicles really grow. And that's pretty much mostly with the shampoo. The conditioner is almost like that sealing agent that helps seal in all of those phytonutrients and those essential acids and those nutrients that the hair needs to grow. So the conditioner is your sealant. So you want to leave the conditioner on for 1 to 5 minutes. So in that way, your hair is actually really absorbing everything that it needs to grow. So whenever you shampoo and you condition, you don't want to rinse this out right away. You want to let it sit, and you want to let the nutrients stir for a little bit. So after you shampoo and you condition, this is like normal at-home routine, then you're going to apply just a few drops. A little goes a long way with these. So when you apply the serum, you're going to do small sections in the top. You're going to kind of dab it on the top or wherever you need it. And the serum is it increases blood flow to the scalp. It's a great thing to add. It increases blood flow, allowing the skins and the follicles to be nourished while increasing hair growth. So this is literally like your fertilizer. So whenever you do any kind of treatment, like let's just say to your yard, you're going to treat it. You're going to protect the roots of your grass with your part 1 and your part 2. And then you're going to fertilize it to make sure that your hair is growing beautifully and lusciously. The thing is about the anti-hair loss system in comparison to minoxidil or nioxin or even to Rogaine is that when you start to switch something to more all natural, the metaphor that I like to use is almost kind of like imagine laying down AstroTurf. So your Rogaine, your nioxin, and your minoxidil is almost going to be like AstroTurf, and you want to change up your environment, or you want to change it into a more natural, sustainable environment. You're going to have to rip all that up and start from scratch. So what the anti-hair loss shampoo and conditioner does is it's almost kind of like you're spreading seeds in your yard, you're growing it, you're laying the foundation, you're cleaning everything out. And then your anti-hair loss serum acts as the fertilizer to keep your hair growing. If you stop at any point or reduce the amount that you're using, will you lose all your hair? Absolutely not. It's almost like if you were to fertilize your plants at home and you stop fertilizing them, you will get a reduce in the amount of growth that you'll get. But then at the same time, you're still going to get hair growth because it's providing all the vital nutrients that it needs and the oxygen and the increased blood flow to your scalp. So now let's go into a little bit as far as like the serum goes. How much do we need to use? So, and how often? So, does anybody here show of hands if they have any scalp issues as far as hair growth that they want to do, and like as far as increasing their hair growth? Do you have any kind of balding or any kind of situations as far as their scalp conditions go? Who show of hands if you have any kind of scalp issues you wanted to tackle? Let's see. Is there a way where I can see comments? I can't tell. I'm going.
You have to see everyone on Zoom. Can you see that? We just have 3 of us on Zoom, but so we have people on Instagram too.
Let me see.
So if anyone does, we'll ask questions.
Oh, it's not letting me see.
Chat. So if they have any questions, they can ask in the chat and I'll relay them to you.
Okay. So please relay any questions that you have for the serum, and Miss Kelly will read them to me, and so we can discuss it further. Okay, so going back into, at what point and how much do we need to use for the scalp treatment? So since the serum acts as a part 2, you don't want to wash this out at all. It's very water soluble, which means it's very liquidy. There's no water in it, but it's not sticky and it's not thick where it's going to help you build it. It's not going to build up any product buildup. So you don't want to rinse this bad boy out. He's here to stay. So if you're experiencing balding of the crown or any sort of bald spot, what I highly recommend is you're going to use the serum morning and night on wet or damp hair. You want to use this every morning and every night. Primarily, if you miss in the morning, you want to go at night because like your body is actually recovering at night. So during the 12 hours and stuff that you're awake, your body's functioning, it's looking, it's seeing, it's smelling, it's tasting everything, it's moving, all your appendages, everything is happening. So whenever you're sleeping, your body actually has a chance to recover. And so while your body's recovering, this product is amazing to use at night. But if you're experiencing any severe balding, or if you're having any kind of severe hair loss, you want to use this morning and night. I put it by my toothbrush during the day. So in that way, whenever after I get out of the shower, before bed, it's right by my toothbrush. So in that way I know to add it into my scalp. So now if you're thinning or losing hair, same thing, just the serum before bed. You don't need a lot. That means that this product will last you a long time. So I believe that we retail it for $46.50 here in the salon. So if you're thinning or losing hair, you only need to use it in the evening, just right before bed. You don't need to even use it during the day. So you only need to use it once per day. Now, if you want to promote hair growth and strength and vitality into your hair, if you're anybody like myself who has really good luxurious hair, but just wants to promote a healthy scalp and healthy hair in general, what you're going to do is just put this on your scalp twice a week. You only need it twice a week. You don't need it every day. You don't need it every night before bed, like most people who suffer from any kind of scalp condition. So they really only need to use this twice per week. Okay. So, and like I said, dry or damp hair, do not rinse this out. Okay. So let's see. So does anybody have any questions as far as the anti-hair loss line? We're going to move on to another beautiful weapon as far as like scalp health and keeping our scalp healthy. Does anybody have any questions at all before we move on? Let me see. I can't tell from here. So we'll get back to any kind of questions until Kelly gets back. She's going to read me everyone's questions. So moving on, we're going to go into our next awesome, which is one of my favorites for any kind of like scalp refreshers, is our exfoliant. Words today. So sorry. It's the certified exfoliation therapy. This is a amazing product to use if you have any kind of scalp conditions. Let's see, you can use this this is primarily used for any kind of dry or itchy scalp related issues. It reduces levels of, it can be a result, like itchy scalp can usually be a result in reduced levels of urea, which is basically, it's like whenever the water capacity in the skin begins to decrease. So when you're dehydrated, if you haven't drank enough water, if your body's not retaining enough water, it can reduce that amount of urea in the hair, which can cause flakes or dandruff. So with that being said, so usually with lost moisture, it can produce like redness, it can produce roughness, tightness in the scalp, and it can produce like irritation, scaly or flaking skin. This is your go-to to help exfoliate your scalp. Just like how you would exfoliate your face at like once or twice a week or so, this is going to be your exfoliative facial treatment for your scalp. A little goes a long way. You don't need a lot. So I would almost apply it in a brick-lay pattern for anybody who's at home. It's a great idea for a couple's date night, little scalp massage night. It's awesome. Love this. 10 out of 10 would definitely recommend. It has actually solved a lot of my clients' issues because it's just a beautiful product. So let me just talk a little bit more about it too. So applying this scalp and skin therapy directly to the scalp, it actually increases moisture and the binding capacity for the scalp, thus rehydrating the skin, softening it, and reducing any kind of cracking and any cracking or roughness in your scalp. So this is not only for if you have any issues, this is just an amazing add-on for just a little kind of mini facial for your scalp I would say about like if you have a normal scalp, nothing's bothering it, I would say maybe do it twice a month, just for beautiful, healthy skin. So next thing, what is it? So at the same time, it's also designed to combat dry or greasy dandruff while relieving inflammation. It soothes itching from the scalp, the first application within regular use. So it controls persistent dandruff, may be ideal for fighting anatomic dermatitis or psoriasis, or if anyone is plagued by dry or itchy scalp, the tea tree oil will be a really good remedy for this. So psoriasis, dermatitis, this is really, really good for anything that you're experiencing in the scalp. Now, if you're experiencing dermatitis or any kind of psoriasis, I would definitely use this more often, more like maybe a once or twice a week, depending on your dermatologist. So that way, if you're using anything to help combat that, I would definitely use this in lieu with whatever you're using. Just make sure you're not doing any kind of color. If you're doing anything as far as color treatments that day, if you're getting your color done, make sure you're not irritating the scalp and putting this on right before an appointment. And ideally, we want a slightly greasy hair, like a day or two. So please don't wash your hair. Use this right before any kind of scalp treatment. Okay. Because we want to keep the scalp really healthy when we're doing anything in the salon. So make sure you're doing this at home and on the right days before you come into the salon. Okay, so this is another wonderful part of our the scalp treatment that we do in salon. So this is why I'm explaining it a little bit more in detail today. Okay, so I'm not sure if anyone's used to a high frequency wand, and we'll kind of get to all of the questions at the end of the Zoom. I think it's going to be a little bit better because my partner in crime is kind of off to the side a little bit. So I'm not sure if anyone's used a high frequency wand. I'm going to go a little bit more in depth about it. We use it a lot, and it's one of my favorite things to introduce to a client whenever we're dealing with scalp issues. And it is definitely a big part of our scalp treatment that we do here in the salon. So this is our beautiful high frequency salon. So what high frequency salons do is that they produce oxygen to the skin and utilizes thermal energy to treat different things. So there's two different types of so see these attachments. There are actually two different types of attachments you can get. There's going to be neon gas and there's actually going to be argon gas. So the ones that we actually use specifically in the salon are argon. So, and how you can tell what gases are going to be in it, it's going to be, what did I say? I know. So the neon gas is going to be producing like an orange light when you turn it on, and then argon is going to turn purple. So neon is used for anti-aging. Argon is used for like any kind of skin conditions. It's very antibacterial. So if you have any kind of pimples or anything like that, a lot of estheticians use this for any kind of pimple or acne treatments. And then of course they use neon for anti-aging. So this is a great one to use at home and a great part of your treatment to utilize in salon as well. So what it does is it promotes collagen production and elastin production, which helps reduce acne and causes of and any kind of bacteria, which is what we want when we're dealing with any kind of scalp related conditions. Okay. So what we're going to do is there's a way to actually do this on your clients without actually hurting their scalp at all. So, because sometimes it can be a little intense. So what I personally like to do is I like to turn it on. And whenever you're using a high frequency one for the first time on someone's scalp, I always like to test the wrist first, because usually that's where they're going to feel it. So I'll turn it on to a 1, and then I'll be like, leave me your hand. So we're going to neutralize it first. And then before we touch it, then we're going to actually put it on someone's skin. So I'm not sure if you can see it. So we're going to turn it all the way up. So it's actually, I'm not sure if you can tell by my finger right here, see how it's an orange glow. See how it's an orange glow right here as well. So this is going to be a neon gas that's actually produced with here. So this one particular is actually going to be anti-aging. So this is what helps produce really good, it promotes really good blood flow, helps really promote a nice healthy scalp, is because we want anti-aging properties. So, and then if you're dealing with any kind of like scalp issue as far as psoriasis, any kind of acne in the scalp, that's when you would switch to more of the purple light argon light gas. So we're going to turn it on. So before you touch it to anyone's scalp, what you're going to do is let me see if I have my notes right. So what you're going to do is you're going to touch it first with your skin to ground it. And then you're going to put on, and then you'll release. And so that's going to actually ground it. Then you're going to move it into, every time you lift it off, you're going to reground it, and you're going to touch it to the scalp. So if you do this on yourself, you're going to feel a tingling sensation whenever you go to use it. So what grounding it does is actually, it helps keep it from the high intensity that you need. So if someone's scalp is very susceptible to if someone's scalp is very tender, grounding it actually really helps reduce the amount of sensation they're going to feel, If you go too high too quick, you will experience a very sore scalp within the next day. Excuse me. So what we're going to do is we're going to ground it, apply it to the scalp, and then usually during a treatment, you're going to do this for about 5 minutes. So that's how our wand works. It helps rejuvenate any kind of lost hair follicles. It kind of helps bring them back to life, because whenever our normal hair follicles, whenever they don't receive enough blood flow, they actually turn into that little peach fuzz on your face that people experience. It's called vellus hair. So what this does is it actually reactivates those hair follicles, going from vellus hair to an actual healthy hair follicle again. So I have one client in particular, his hairline has been receding, and we're actually bringing his hairline back with the help of this tool. And with using it with this and in line with the rest of the Natulique products, it's a game changer. So now that we know a little bit about some of the tools that we're all going to use, let's go ahead and put them all together as far as how we like to use how we like to do our scalp treatments in the salon. So we have our beautiful Natulique brush that we're going to use. Actually, no, let's backtrack real quick. I got ahead of myself. So what we like to use, we start off with a consultation, and a consultation will include a microscope. So you can get this guy on Amazon. I'm not sure what brand or specific one this is, but this is the tool that we like to use as far as like looking under their microscope. Our people on Zoom over here, I'm not sure y'all can tell. So we like to start off with a microscope. From a microscopic level, it's good to see the condition of the hair follicle, the condition of the scalp, how much blood flow is going in through the scalp, how healthy are the follicles. Is it a one small hair coming out? Is it two small hairs? Is it like a thick, mature hair? Like, we want to see how much action each follicle is representing. And you can actually see through this guy, you can actually see on your iPad. Thank you, Kelly. So this will link to an iPad. And so what it will do, and the client can actually take photos on the iPad too. So not only can you take photos on this guy with this button right here. Not only can you take photos with this guy on here, your client will be able to. So if they're like, ooh, that's really cool, and then they can take a picture, and it's really fun. It's really fun. And so some people think it's so gross, they don't want to do it again after this. But at the same time, it's a must need for a before and after. So you're going to need this guy for your before and afters. So like I said, we're looking for blood flow. We're looking for how many hairs are coming out of the follicle. How many active follicles do we have? Do we have any psoriasis, dandruff? Do we have any product buildup on the hair shaft? This is going to be some key essential things that we're going to want to look for before we prescribe a treatment plan as far as like our Natulique community goes. So, and please refer to any questions that you may have on Zoom for any questions we can follow up with later afterwards. Okay. So moving on. So that's step one. So step two is going to be our Natulique brush, our beautiful Natulique brush. It's amazing. It's one of my go-to brushes whenever I'm doing a scalp treatment. So the boar bristles will actually move your natural oils throughout the scalp. It's really good. It's almost kind of like a dry brush for your scalp. So you're going to do this for 5 minutes. So you're just going to go through your client's hair. You're just going to literally dry brush for about 5 minutes. I like to put a cutting cape on because it will cover everyone's clothes. For some people that will be like, well, I don't have dandruff. No, you'll experience not dandruff, but you will see flakes come off of the scalp because it's going to be extra product buildup. It's going to be, it might be a dead skin that you didn't even know that you had yet to exfoliate off of your scalp. So this is going to be a key essential part of your scalp treatment routine. Okay. So you're going to do this for 5 minutes. So moving on to our next step is going to be our wand. So like I said, we have 1 through 5 on the intensity levels on how high we go. Whenever it's a client that has never experienced the high frequency before, I always start off with about a 1.5. You never want to go more than that because their scalp will be very sensitive for the next 24 to 48 hours. This is some good client feedback that has been amazing over the past 4 years. I've been doing some scalp treatments. So I like to have my clients come back once a month for a routine scalp treatment. If they're dealing with any kind of, if they're dealing with any kind of hair loss issues, then we would do about twice a month. We would come in, preferably to help activate all those beautiful hair follicles, blood flow going. Like I said, this is an amazing thing that brings in oxygen, promotes collagen, and it's a great tool to help keep the scalp clean. So we're almost going to be like your disinfectant before you go into the shampoo bowl. So now that we talked about that, our next step would be our exfoliative scalp therapy treatment. We all learned so much about that. If anyone has any questions, please leave them below. So with this, you're gonna put it on the hair dry. I like to do it dry, so it's almost kind of like you're getting everything really nice and clean before you rinse it. And then that way you're not diluting all of the good ingredients that are in here. So whenever you're shampooing first, I think I've heard a couple of clients, or not even clients, stylists previously, and other things that I've researched, that has said that they have washed their hair before applying this. I really think that applying it dry, you're going to get the most intensive treatment versus diluting it with water or a pre-wash. Oh yeah. So what I like to do is I'll take, after we do the dry brushing, the microscope, and then the dry brushing and everything like that, I'll take my client to the shampoo bowl. And then you literally don't need a lot. A little goes a long way, and you're going to be massaging this guy in for 10 minutes. So it's a great luxurious way to get your clients to relax. I've had guests fall asleep at the shampoo bowl during this process, like full on snoring. It's awesome to actually get my clients and my guests to actually fully relax. And when you hear that snoring, oh my God, I love it. It's like music to my ears in the salon. We want full relaxation. Okay. So you're going to massage this in for 10 minutes. And then what you're going to do is you're going to cap it, and then you're going to put a hot towel on it. I like to exchange my hot towels after 10 minutes. So 10-minute intervals. I like to do it after 10 because the hot towel is not going to stay hot after 10 minutes. So I like to make sure the hot towel is refreshed. So what the cap's going to do is going to create a nice steamy environment. So then that way, all of the ingredients can help soften and hydrate the scalp. And I know we don't want to use that dirty N word or M word as far as hydration goes, but so it's going to keep everything nice and wet under the cap. So after you have that steaming for about 20 minutes, what you're going to do is your next step is very vital. So the volume wash actually comes into play in this. And we'll talk, I think we are going to be talking more about other shampoo products along the line as well. But the volume wash is a very good clarifier, and it helps hydrate the hair. Thank you. So it's got rosemary extract and oat. So that's the main ingredients that are going to be in here. So rosemary is a vital herb that's going to be to kill any kind of bacteria. Oat extracts are going to be to help calm the scalp. Since obviously we put the scalp through a lot before we put the treatment on it, this is going to be really good about calming the scalp down before you use the anti-hair loss treatment. So I always like to wash twice. This is your once. So once to clean the scalp, get rid of any dirt, environmental debris, any kind of just gunk that's on the scalp, all of the stuff. So this is your pre-wash before you use the anti-hair loss the scalp treatment. Okay. So then after you do your first wash, you're going to go back with the anti-hair loss shampoo. The anti-hair loss shampoo is going to feed and nourish your scalp. So this would be your second wash. So your first wash is to get rid of the dirt, the gunk, the sebum, all that nasty environmental stuff your hair has absorbed throughout the day, the week, the month. And then you come back in with this. So this is actually going to really clean your scalp. And since you're doing it on clean hair after the volume wash, your scalp is going to do nothing but absorb the good stuff. So after that is on, and then you shampoo with that, you can leave the conditioner on for about 1 to 5 minutes. So it just depends on how much time you have behind the bowl. I know sometimes a lot of people will be kind of running behind a little bit. Just let it sit for a few minutes or any kind of time that you can. So then that way it really locks in, kind of like when you're letting a toner sit and lock it in, then use conditioner afterwards. This is going to be like that for the scalp. This is the only conditioner I would say that you can put on the scalp because it's designed to work on the scalp. So let it sit on the scalp for a little bit. While this is sitting on the scalp, you can use, depending on your client's hair texture, you can do a different hair conditioner on mid shaft to ends. So in that way, like for myself, I would be using the curl and wave shampoo, love it, use it every time I shampoo. So I'll be using this on my scalp, and then I'll put the curl and wave throughout mid shaft and my ends, because this isn't really going to be, it's going to be hydrating, but it's mostly designed to help keep the nutrients and seal them into your scalp and let it sit there. So is it going to do anything for the ends of your hair? Yes, but it's designed just for your scalp. Okay. So, and then after you let that sit and marinate, you rinse, you rinse, you tell your client and your guest, and you bring them back to the chair. You will you'll separate the hair, and then you'll add your hair serum. You can do it in the primary spots where they have alopecia, any kind of hair loss, any kind of thinning. You want to primarily put this wherever they're having any issues. Then after you do that, at the shampoo bowl, I like to do it in dry hair because it's going to be vital for the next step. Okay. But you can put this in wet or dry hair. So the next step after the shampoo bowl, after you bring your guest in, you dry their hair out. Then what you do is you put this in, and then our beautiful Natulique scalp brushes. I have been obsessed with these since they came out, and I have sold them to all of my guests. So it's a nice, beautiful, soft, I think it's like recycled silicone, and it's just beautiful, and it moves through the hair. So as we all know, hair is very delicate when wet. So whenever you're doing any kind of brush, I wouldn't do it in the shower, just because your hair is more susceptible to breakage, to tearing, at all. So we want to keep it nice and strong. So I like to do this mostly on dry hair. So what you're going to do is you're not going to do big circles. You're literally just going to put a mild pressure, nothing too crazy, right? And then you're going to do like little baby circles. And you're literally going to do this for just for a few minutes. You can do like 2 to 5 minutes, from anywhere to 2 to 5 times a week. And it's really cool because you can sit there and you can just like watch your favorite show, and you're just chilling, and you're scalp massaging your hair. And what this does is it promotes so much good blood flow to the scalp. And we need that, especially when you're doing the serum. The more blood flow that's at the surface of your scalp, the more that you're actually going to utilize the vitamins and the nutrients and the plant extracts that are actually in the serum to help bring that good blood flow up. Okay. So that is that. I think that I have a little slide for everybody, and it's almost kind of like my 5 tips to hair growth. And if we can bring that up real quick, I'm not sure how we can do that.
Share your screen. Why is it over here?
I don't know. Technical difficulties, you guys.
I don't know why it's over
here. Okay, there we go.
So you're going to share your screen, and then you're going to open it. Did you open it?
Not yet.
Okay.
Give us 2 seconds, you guys.
It's a Google Doc.
Mm-hmm. Now, please get all of your questions ready after we kind of go through these last little slides. I would love to answer any kind of questions you guys have about this line, or if there's anything that you're doing at the salon that we kind of need to talk about. If there's a situation with a guest, let me know. We can really kind of dive in deep a little bit, because I think that we kind of went through a little bit of everything. If we need to backtrack and go through the beginning again on some products, let me know. We talked about quite a few today, so make sure you have all of your questions ready.
I'm gonna find it shared by
Let me see.
Or you can post it in a few minutes and just keep going, and we'll figure it out for you.
Okay.
Going to the scalp treatment and hair loss and scalp treatment. And let me look at one.
Okay. So I'm gonna look down here real quick. Okay, so I think I'm back on Zoom. So now, okay, does anybody have any questions? Please go ahead and comment. We have Instagram, we have Zoom. Does anybody have any questions for me in regarding the Natulique anti-hair loss line?
I do. Yeah.
So I do have a question from Leah, if I'm saying your name correctly. Leah Hasala, do you dry the hair first? At what point? At what part?
You answered it.
Oh, I think you're muted, babe.
I'm not. Yeah.
So I do have a question from Leah, if I'm saying your name correctly. Leah Hasala, do you dry the hair first? What point? At what part?
You answered it.
Oh, I did? Okay, perfect. You're muted, babe. Okay, perfect. So let's see. After the scalp exfoliator, do you have any other kind of treatment for the hair? No, I think that so any other kind after the scalp exfoliator, the treatment in itself is basically a treatment. So what I would do is, if you're going through all the steps that we did we do for in the salon, then you're going to do the microscope. You're going to have your consultation, see what kind of issues anyone's having with their scalp. And then they can kind of go over it together, troubled spots, things you want to work on at each appointment. Like I said before, I have a guest who has like his line is receding. So that's a point. He's got a point from dermatitis in the back. That's another point. So those are just things that we're going to utilize and kind of focus on. So whenever I do the scalp therapy treatment, I focus it here and on the back primarily. So but we're going to slowly put it on around the hair, and it's very small. You don't need a lot. So with the exfoliative scalp therapy, you're only going to want to do it just on the scalp. You're not going to want to do it anywhere else on the hair shaft. And so at the same time, you're not going to want to do it at the hair. It's not for your hair. It's for your scalp. So you don't want to waste it at all when you're doing anything as far as scalp related. So then you're going to do, whenever you're doing the scalp related system, as far as the scalp therapy goes, that's a treatment by itself. The only other treatment that you would do is literally leave the anti-hair loss conditioner on for like 1 to 5 minutes. If you have the time to do 100% the 5-minute mark, go for it. I would say utilize that time. That means you and your guests are actually going to that means your guest knows full well that you're taking care of them, and they're getting like a little bougie free service. It's not, well, of course that's not free, but like they're getting that extra time with you. And in my experience using this line, that works. So, oh, here, let me see my phone. I can just explain it. I don't know where my phone went. Okay, perfect. So Google Docs is not working. So what is so what we're going to do is I'm going to kind of go through my 5 tips for health that was in our slides and kind of present those for you today. So let me find it. Give me 2 seconds. Okay. So, and these are great tips. I wanted to share these with you because these are my tips that I can share with my guests in the chair. And so,
Sure, I got it.
Oh, you got it.
Yeah, just keep going on it,
Okay.
and I'll add it to Zoom.
Okay, so we have our 5 tips for hair growth that you can share in the chair. And that way it's a great way that you can help your guests, give them little hints and tidbits to utilize at home. And this is naturally conditioned, obviously. So first up, we have scalp massages. So scalp massages you can utilize with clean hands or with our Natulique scalp massager. Obviously, as hairdressers, we do this every single day while we're working with our guests. You definitely want to, as I said before, 2 to 5 minutes for 2 to 5 times a week. Small baby circles. You don't need whirlwinds. You don't need like helicopter hands. Okay. So we're going to do that. And so when it comes to the scalp massager, especially, we're going to do it on dry hair. We want to do this on dry hair because hair is delicate. We want to make sure that whenever we're doing any kind of brushing in the shower, we don't really want to do it on our hair because it's more susceptible to damage, breakage. And of course, if you're doing this in the shower, the tangles at the very end, we don't want to deal with. Okay. So we want to do it on dry hair. So if you want to, definitely utilize this with the scalp serum. It's going to be so good to help. Not only is the serum going to bring blood flow, but you're going to bring blood flow with it. So which means it's going to be faster. It's going to absorb faster into the scalp. So Our tip number 2 would be drink water. I know all of us are highly caffeinated people. We're behind the chair all the time. Okay. I know as stylists, caffeine, like, it's my, guilty as charged. I do like a lot of caffeine throughout the day. So, but please drink water. Tell your guests to hydrate, because not only will like product buildup produce dandruff, but a dry scalp can just be a dry scalp. It can be pretty flaky. So all we want to do is make sure we're very hydrated. And what water does is it actually brings oxygen into the blood flow, which we want into the scalp. So it brings blood flow, it brings circulation. We want to bring all that good stuff. Okay. Now, can people on Zoom see the slideshow at all?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Okay,
we do.
perfect. Okay, cool. So let me move this aside real quick. Okay. So we're on to 2. So let's see. Oh, let me see if we can.
Go to the next page.
Okay. So obviously we need blood flow. So drinking water really, really helps as far as good with blood flow, circulation, and oxygen, which will obviously help hair grow. So not only do we want the products to help us, but we need to produce internal vitamins and nutrients that'll really help a great environment for our scalp to be thriving and super healthy. Okay. So our next slide would basically is, let me see. Let me go over here. Let me move this aside real quick. Shampooing only your scalp and shampooing twice. So like I said before, shampooing only your scalp, if you shampoo your ends, you're going to create dry, brittle, very, very, very dry ends. So whenever you're shampooing, what you want to do is you want to do a 2-wash method. Okay. So 2 washes. So the first wash is going to be with our volume wash. Whenever you're doing any kind of whenever you're doing anything scalp related, you're going to do with the volume wash, get rid of that dirt, environmental factors, debris, all of it. You want to get rid of all of it. The second shampoo is going to be with your anti-hair loss shampoo. And this is going to be a great thing to do at home when you tell your guests that are going to do the exfoliative scalp treatment. This is the exact order you want them to do it at home as well. So first shampoo is with the volume wash. You want to create a nice clean environment so your hair can absorb those beautiful nutrients from the anti-hair loss shampoo. So second wash is going to be the anti-hair loss. It actually cleans, nourishes your scalp. It provides the nutrients that your hair needs to thrive. And like I said, shampooing your ends could potentially cause breakage. It'll also dry out your ends and causing more damage. We don't want to do that. We want to keep it constantly thriving. Okay. And in the volume wash, if someone comes in, let's just say hypothetically, since we're on the situation. So since what we like to do with someone who comes in with a cornucopious amount of buildup, right? They have buildup, their hair, obviously one or two shampoos aren't going to cut it. So we actually provide a in-salon detox. So what that means is we shampoo with we do the volume wash about 3 to 4 times. Sometimes around the 4th time, the scalp can be too tender. So what we do is we do a scalp detox. So the detox is we do the volume wash conditioner 4 times. So we rinse and repeat 4 times. So if anyone's coming in for a scalp treatment that has a heavily irritated scalp, has a lot of dandruff, product buildup, like any kind of psoriasis issue or stuff like that, I would add a detox treatment before starting the scalp treatment. So that's what I would do primarily before. I highly recommend it. That way you can get a nice, good baseline to start with and see what's underneath all that stuff. Because the last thing you want to do is with someone who has like a lot of product or major scalp issue is have this touch their scalp. And then if you forget to clean it, you have cross-contamination and putting that over to other places. Obviously, we clean it after every person who uses it. But just as a good factor to keep everything controlled, the volume wash detox is a really good way to start the whole process really, really fresh. So like I said, shampooing twice is my main key role for a clean, healthy scalp. And then conditioning from mid shaft to ends. Like I said before, the anti-hair loss conditioner is the only conditioner I would utilize on the scalp. It's got like all the light ingredients. The only oil that the conditioner really has is almond oil. Almond oil is a very light oil that helps seal everything in there. And it's still going to be a light enough oil that the serum can penetrate. So that's why the anti-hair loss and the whole scalp situation, the anti-hair loss products in general, utilized itself together is because there's no heavy oils. There's no jojoba oil. There's no avocado oil. There's no sunflower oils to block the penetration of that serum. If you have too many thick oils that are in that shampoo, like let's just say like the curl shampoo, for example, if I were to use the curl shampoo and the conditioner on my scalp before the serum, it's not going to work. I'm going to waste my money. I'm going to waste my time and my product on something that's not going to be penetrated into my scalp. So the shampoo and the conditioner are literally step one. So whenever you use conditioner, if you use other conditioner besides the anti-hair loss conditioner, because we already talked about that it's designed for the scalp, right? So if you're using another conditioner on the scalp, so there's a couple factors that we want to include. So conditioner is designed to trap in moisture. Conditioner is designed to trap in moisture and hydration. Your scalp needs to breathe, which is why we have the exfoliated scalp mask. This is why we have this anti-hair loss shampoo. It's designed to keep that scalp breathing. And your hair has, your hair has its own microbiome. So it needs a place to thrive. So when you condition the scalp, it can cause flakes, it can cause more oil, it can cause both, which can lead to product buildup. So whenever you're using the anti-hair conditioner, it's the one designed for the scalp. Okay. So last but not least, water temperature. I know that we all love scalding hot showers. I myself was one in particular that really loves a hot shower. At the same time, if you are shampooing at home or in the salon in really, really hot water, it can irritate the scalp. So irritation leads to closed hair follicles. It can cause more dryness and it can cause more breakage. And since a scalp that is already irritated coming into the salon does not need more irritation with the temperature being so hot. And so this will cause more harm than good. I'm all like I said, always down for a scalding hot shower. Who isn't? Especially winter. I'm a cold person. So hot water is amazing to work with. So at the same time, let's tone it down when it's just on the scalp. Let's do like tepid, lukewarm. Let's not go scalding. Okay. So, and we're about to answer any other questions here in a few minutes. So before we go, last but not least, please stay up to date. For those on Zoom, I have posted everyone in our education, our Instagrams and everything like that. We have Kelly Swing, we have Brandy Thorpe, we have Erica Whiteman, we have Katie Kitzman, Heather Charland, obviously myself. And then please don't hesitate to follow our Natulique Texas page. That way you can keep up to date about what our amazing team is up to. And so please take a moment to follow our dream team. They're also on our live on Instagram today. And so if you need to just to stay update on anything fun, keep up to date on things we have going on in the future, please reach out to us for any questions that y'all may have regarding Natulique. We all pull together. We're all such a great team that pulls together if you have any questions, comments, or any kind of concerns. Now, if you have any help with the class, if you need any help with a particular topic or have an idea for an upcoming class that you would like us to help with more or go more in depth on, please reach out to us for any kind of future classes you may like. Okay, so I know we have just a few minutes left. Does anybody have any more questions? I'm going to unmute myself here real quick. If you have any help with the class, if you need any help with a particular topic or have an idea for an upcoming class that you would like us to help with more or go more in depth on, please reach out to us for any kind of future classes you may like. Okay, so I know we have just a few minutes left. We do this. Let me go back. Okay, cool. Does anybody have any questions? We have Instagram, we have YouTube. Does anybody have any questions before we close? We talked about a lot today.
I just want to thank you. Thank you for the class.
Awesome. You're very welcome. I'm happy I answered everybody's questions. I made sure to be very thorough. let's see, Katie asked, how often would you recommend getting the treatment? So I would recommend for a maintenance, if someone just wants to have a clean scalp, I would say maybe once or twice a month. Yes, two times a month if someone has anything drastic. If someone's dealing with one of our beautiful front desk girls, she was having she had very thin, fine hair. You could almost kind of see through it. We did her scalp treatment twice every month, twice a month. So that way her scalp, it gave time for her scalp to breathe, and it helped her utilize and worked with her products every month. So I would say the most you can do.
Significant hair growth.
Yeah. And her hair growth, like I think she has before and after photos for me. And so I'll post those whenever I can get those from her. But it's a significant amount. So if you're dealing with any kind of, yeah, I would say 2 would be the max for in salon. If somebody really wants to come in like every week, hey, more power to you. There's not enough times you can probably do this. If you want to do it every week, you can, but twice if you at the most extreme, I would say at the most extreme case. If you're maintaining, once a month, and then if you really don't, and if you have someone like myself who doesn't really need it, you can say every other month, but once a month, kind of like a facial.
Everyone needs,
Everyone needs a facial once a month. So let's see, how much time do you book for the service? That's a good question. Honestly,
you add a blowout,
and I would add a blowout at the end. Awesome, Katie.
Mhm.
Okay, so I think, let me see, hold on. Let me look real quick, because I get so busy doing the service that I actually forget how much time I actually have for the service. So let me double check real quick and I can get back to you on that. I think Miss Kelly is my computer wizard today. She's helping me out a lot.
Good.
Let me see if I can pull it up here for real quick.
Smaller.
Let me get that for you real quick. So with consultation, we usually have 15 minutes, and then we do about 5 minutes for the dry brushing, and then for the wand. So that's about 25 minutes right there, plus another 10 minutes for the scalp massage. So about 30 minutes. And that's up to 35 minutes. And then you leave it on for 20. So about a good hour, probably hour and a half to an hour, 45 minutes, I would say, especially if you're adding a blowout. So if you have a young lady with long hair, I would schedule her an additional blowout after the service. So
How long do you measure?
For men treatment, it's about the same time. It's about usually 45, about an hour. I like to give my men an hour just so in that way I can style them out, talk to them any products. So for women, I'd probably book I think we have it at an hour and a half. And then I think for men, we have it at an hour. So, okay, perfect. Cool. Does anybody have any other questions for me?
That's it. All right.
There is one more thing I want to touch base on. If you are doing hair color, you want to book this a week apart from each other, or at least a different day. So because do not do this treatment before hair color. It's going to irritate the scalp, and you don't want to irritate the scalp anymore. So if you're going to do color same week, or if you're going to do any kind of hair service, I would do this after the service. Or if you're going to want to do it before, make sure there's like a couple days or a week in between each service. So then that way it gives your scalp time to calm down. Okay. Awesome. I think we covered everything. Thank you guys so very much for joining me today. And I look forward to future classes. Please reach out to my team and everybody else if you have any questions, comments, or concerns. Okay. Thank you so very much. Have a good day. Bye, you guys. See, how do I stop this? Sorry, we're still here.
You're gonna figure that one out.
I have a question, please.
There we go. Woo! I think I did pretty good. What do you think?
Yeah, let me make sure that I got you off of Zoom first. Is it off?
I still have a question. If
No, it's a stop and share. Here, end.
And for all.